Well, good morning. Actually, it's 4 p.m. and I just woke up from the most glorious nap ever. But we gotta get ready for a little Valentine's Day dinner. I hardly ever nap anymore, but I was so restless last night sleeping, and then I woke up early to make sure I could see the kids' reaction to their little Valentine's Day baskets. And I told David, I was like, there is absolutely no way I'm going to dinner tonight if I don't nap. So I took a nap and it was incredible. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but this is David and I's 10th Valentine's Day together. I don't know where the time has gone, but I thought it would be really fun to talk about how we met. If you guys listen to my podcast and you've already heard the story, but I just think it's so fun to talk about. So for those of you that don't know, I worked at Starbucks from my 16th birthday until my first semester in nursing school, and that's where I met David. I was 18 years old and a freshman in college. I got a scholarship to our local community college, and I was doing my prerequisites for nursing school at that time. The location I worked at was the beat that he worked in, and I used to serve a lot of cops that were working on his squad at the time. One of our longest friends, still to this day, her name is Elsie. She was on his squad, and she would come in every day that she would work, and we would chat forever. And she told him, hey, there's this really cute barista that works at Starbucks. You should go and introduce yourself to her. And his response was, no, I only drink Dutch Bros. Now, I did not know this conversation happened. I did not know that she had told him to come in, but eventually he did. He actually ended up coming in 3 separate times in my 1 4-hour shift. He wouldn't leave me alone. I mean, I don't blame him. I, no joke, remember the second he walked in. 6'5", beautiful police officer in uniform, and I was like, I'm gonna climb you like a motherfucking tree. I actually verbatim did say that to my coworker. I was always pretty mature for my age, and I always kept my composure around guys, but he was the first man I ever met where I could not keep my shit together. I was just so taken back. I was like flustered almost. So he comes in, he ordered a coffee, he got a grande white mocha, and I gave it to him for free. Sorry, Starbucks. Because I was crushing so hard on him. And I remember when he came in and ordered his drink, there was a line all the way out the door. But instead of serving them, I ignored all of my customers and I moved off to the side of the counter, and we must have had like a full 20-minute conversation. Listen, I'm not like a huge romantic type girl, but no exaggeration, it felt like a movie where everything around us, every noise, every object was gone, like completely disappeared. And I remember my coworker was like, hey bitch, can you fucking get it together and serve the customers because I can't run this place by myself? And I was like, so sorry. I was like, I'm busy, I'm talking the love of my life. But I think because I had only really dated boys at the time and not men, it was the first conversation I ever had with a male that he was actually asking questions that showed he was interested in me. And we could have been talking for, I don't know, 3 hours. We weren't, but it would have felt like 2 minutes. I was just so, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's insane thinking back to how I felt, and I still feel that way. Anyways, after we initially met, he ended up leaving to go back to work, and then he came back like maybe an hour or so later, and we chatted again. And then the area that I worked in was not the greatest area, so it was very common for me to have to call the non-emergency police number, just do really sketchy things, and I ended up having to call the non-emergency number, and guess who showed up to save me? It's actually funny because now he tells that story and he's like, I was the complete opposite way, going somewhere completely else. And another officer was going to answer the call, and he got on the radio and he was like, no, I'll take that call. Whips around and speeds to me. Oh my God, my knight in shining armor. So he's like asking me questions about what happened. And then it was time for me to close up the store. So I was putting the patio furniture away, and then I had to put the pastry case away. And I can tell that he's like so nervous. And after a few minutes, he got another call and I could hear it on his radio. And he's like, all right, I really got to get this call, but do you think maybe we could go to dinner sometime? And my dumbass 18-year-old self was like, I don't really know, like trying to play hard to get. And inside I'm like, holy fucking shit. Holy shit, he just asked me out. So then he was like, okay, what about like a casual cup of coffee? And I was like, bro, I work at a coffee shop. I don't want to go to another coffee shop and meet up with you. And then he like started to get really flustered, and he's like, okay, well, I really have to get to this call. Do you think I could maybe grab your number and we could figure it out? And I was like, At the same time, I'm like pushing the button to print receipt paper. It's like, peel it off, write my number on the back, and gave it to him. And he literally texted me less than 60 seconds later. And that was, I think, the first week of February in 2014. So almost exactly 10 years ago. And we've been together ever since. You know, it's just really crazy to look back on life because so much has changed. But the one thing that hasn't changed is him and I, and he is truly just my rock through everything. I'm just so thankful for the lessons he's taught me, just me growing with him. I was so young when we met, you know? But even in that moment, I for 100% fact knew he was my person. And here we are 10 years later and I still feel that exact same way. Okay, I'm rushing out the door. Here's the fit. I feel like it looks so cute and classy, and then I have a little trench coat to put over it. Happy Valentine's Day, you guys. I truly love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope this story is a reminder to never settle because you are worth everything and more.